Oh, what a tank blitzers! It's Littlefinger. Happy Friday, September 16th, and you know that means another store review. So we have a pop-up here that I want to get to. This is one of the best deals in the game. Essentially, you've got to deal damage this time around, fill up this bar, max out the amount. I've got a 7.5k gold offer for 10 bucks. Now, which obviously equates to 750 gold per dollar. There is a $16,000 for $20 offer out there if you spend a little bit more money, which equates to $800 per gold. So certainly one of the best offers out there right now. The other one that we haven't seen for a little bit is a subscription, which usually works out to be about 1,000 gold per dollar, which you have to come in and claim that every day. So it makes you come into the game more frequently. So hey, let's jump into the store review. Certainly not as exciting as last week, but we do have a new tier 10 to talk about. We'll get to that in 1 second. Soviet containers are out again. Don't recommend containers. The nice thing about this is a 10% drop chance. There's a limited number of tanks here. Not too many dogs in the bunch, but some tanks that obviously have been around for a long time. T-54 Mod 1, IS-6, a few tier 10s here. So gambling on this, you're going to get 5 containers, 10% drop chance, well below 50% chance of even getting a tank. And then if you do get a tank, you know, it might be a tank that you're not too excited about. The British containers, again, 10% chance, limited number of tanks. I would say probably more dogs in this bunch here. Angry Connor, Churchill, Tog, FV, AT. Really don't want to end up with those, but the G-Sword there, you can see that's the only one I don't have. With, you know, great tanks here, Super Conk, Chieftain, Action X. So, again, don't recommend gambling on the containers, but 10% drop chance is probably the highest drop chance we have. We talked last week about this nice bundle of really strong tanks. Not must own as far as the AMX 30B, the AMX 31 prototype, Centurion Mark 51, very close to a must own tier 8. And I did get a question of must-own tanks, and so I thought I would do a separate video, maybe to get to that next week, of collector's premiums that I think you must own. The nice thing about this bundle is that you are going to get 45x boosters for those of you that are grinding tech tree tanks. Use those to grind those tech tree tanks. That's like 5 wins in 1 battle. 25,000 gold for that. Yeah, that's pretty steep, but you're getting a tier 10, tier 9, and tier 8 for essentially the price of 3 tier 8s. And you're also getting all the equipment and all the camos there. New bundle here. Wanted to just talk briefly about this. So $17 guarantees you 2,000 gold and a tank. So let's say we're using $400 per gold, which is on the lower side for buying gold. That takes $5 off the $17 bundle, meaning that for $12 you are spending to get one of the tanks in this list. Now, let me go back up here. Here are the tanks in the list. And this time I went through and I added it up here. All right, so I've added it on this nice piece of paper. There are a lot of tier 6 and tier 7 tanks. Yes, the percentage is quite low for them. 1% for these tier 6 tanks. But that equates to about 32% of the tanks. 17% for tier 6, 17 for tier 8, 9, and 10 respectively. So essentially, what that means is you only have a 17% chance of getting a tier 10 tank, but you have nearly 50% chance of getting a tier 6 or tier 7. So, you know, chances are if you buy this mystery certificate, you are going to end up with a tier 6 or tier 7 tank. It's about 50%. It is no different than flipping a coin. So just be wary of that. More times than not, you're going to end up with a tier 5 or 6 and you are a tier 9 or tier 10. All right, Countless Treasure. I don't like this deal for the sense that you're only getting 425 gold per dollar. There's a little bit of silver here and 100 days of premium. I don't think this deal is sweet enough to spend that much on the gold there. We do have a new offer. It is called the Striking Platoon. Can get you the Chieftain and the FV201. Two low tier, low must own. These are way down there, in my opinion. They're both British heavy tanks. They've got decent armor, decent mobility for heavy tanks. It's just they have to be on target for a long time because you've got low damage, high reload, fast reload guns on them. And the 5x boosters are only good for the tanks. Granted, it's 8,000 gold for a tier 8 and essentially a free tier 7 because 7,500, 8,000 is where we typically see tier 8s. But again, these are way down there on the list. Unless you're a collector, I would not recommend this deal. The T22 we spoke about last week. It's good to see it in the store for gold. I just felt like this offer here was just a little bit too expensive. 17.5, 15,000, yes. 22.5 is just too much for this. It's nice it comes with the camo and the flag attachment. The downside is the 5x boosters are only good for the T22. It does come with an order here, and you're going to get yourself 5 mystery crates after winning your first 50 battles in the tank. Moving on. Dash and Clash. I feel like this is probably the best offer right now. The 5Xs are specific to those tanks, which is the negative here, but you're getting a very strong tier 8 that you can play in ratings and do well in. 12,500 as you can with the AMX30 prototype. So the price is a good deal for 2 tanks. Especially when you've got all 9 equipment slots unlocked as well. So this is one of my better deals, I would say, as far as recommendations to purchase. I don't think you'd be too unhappy with those 2 tanks. Object 252U, 8,500 gold. Nice to see it with 30 days of premium. Does have the MGO8 attachment. So that is something new. That's worth a couple bucks, apparently. 5x boosters here only for the 252. You're going to get a nice bunch of other boosters and the 9 equipment slots. So for a very strong tank, I would say this is a good deal because you're really only paying like 1,000 gold over what I would consider a great price for the tank of 75. You're going to get your 30 days of premium, your 5Xs, some boosters, the 9 equipment slots. So thinking this is a pretty good deal if you don't already have the Object 252, which is one of the best heavy tanks out there at tier 8. Now, let's talk about the new tier 10. And we haven't even got into the tank section. I'm just going all over the place here. So we've got the componsa 50T. I don't know much about this medium tier 10 tank. I am not spending money on gambling on crates. Hit points 1,800. We've got 245 frontal turret armor, 120 on the hull there. So let's see. Damage per shot, 320. So typical medium statistics here. 250 pen, 8 degrees of gun depression. 60 kilometers per hour. Very nice speed on it. 20 in reverse. 18 power to weight ratio. So this looks like a decent medium tank. We do like the German guns. They seem to be pretty accurate. This one's got some nice damage to it, so it's not a high firing, have to be on target a lot. Kind of sits nicely there. So, yeah, this one looks to be like it's going to be a strong little tank, I would imagine. 14 containers for $100. Does it even have charms? I didn't read. Yeah, charm guaranteed. How many charms do you need, though? Should have looked at this ahead of time, right, guys? Anyway, I'm not gambling on it. I'm not buying this in crates. We will wait for it to come back in stores for gold, which we know it eventually will. The Battle Pass, interesting tank, similar to, I believe, the Jackson. Um, so if you want to buy that, $5. If you need to open up all of the weeks all at once, you can buy the license for $3. $8 does get you a lot of deal, and I spoke about it last week. Especially for the newer players that are grinding, you get some nice 5x, some 3x boosters, over 3,000 gold, and the tank. So all in all, not a bad little deal. Still have time to get the defenders. And what I thought was interesting, and I don't know if I really touched on it last week, but if we go up here, you're going to get 5,000 gold if you already have one of these tanks, which really is not that bad of a deal. If you $45, divided by 4, that's $11 a tank. And if we take $5,000 divided by 11.25, that works out to be 440 gold essentially per tank, which not great. Great is 750 in that neighborhood. Bad is 300, 350. So it sits there in the medium range there of getting a deal for one of those tanks. So if you already have one, you're not getting ripped off, so to speak, on the exchange there of getting the gold back. And the 45x booster does apply to all tanks. So at $11 a tank, I really don't think this is a bad deal. As I mentioned last week, I think the Defender Mark I's got such a great armor profile for a hull down tank. 4-shot auto loader. It really does dish out some nice damage, good mobility. That is my favorite. The AMX light tank Defender is my second favorite. And kind of a toss up between the T28 and the IS3. IS3 sports much more mobility, longer interclip, wait time between shells, and so the Defender, is just a little bit too slow on certain maps, certain situations. I've had supremacy games where I just couldn't find the last player because I was too slow. But anyway, again, not a bad deal for those tanks in a bundle there. Not much here to really talk about as far as, these untold riches and whatnot. If you're looking to analyze these, really just focus on the amount of gold per dollar, 400 gold per dollar, and then what you get in addition to that. So not really great deals sitting here at the moment. And I think now we've talked about all of the tanks. We've got the Chieftain and the FE broken down. 6,000 for me for this tank by itself is too much. 3,000, it's a tier 7. How much are you going to be playing tier 7? Tier 22 medium, here it is just by itself, 17,500, which is a little bit more reasonable price on it. Without anything, I would think 15,000 would be the nice sweet spot for that tank. If you want to buy probably the best tank individually here right now in the store, you're just itching to spend some gold, Centurion Mark 5.1, 8,000 gold. Buy that. You won't be disappointed in that tank. So as you saw here, it was basically worked out to be 5,000 gold per tank here. So paying a little bit of a premium if you buy them separately. Really not going to spend much time talking about much else. As you can see, I haven't been playing in the game that frequently, so make sure you're coming in here and claiming all of your container boxes there. And then here's some more compouncer medium, German medium, new tank. If you want to try to get enough charms to get the tank, probably going to have to spend upwards of close to $200 would be my guess. That seems to be fairly normal. So guys, that's the rundown on the store. Let me know if you've purchased anything and if you're in agreement with my comments. As always, have fun out there. Stay safe. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger, out.